What? Jumping right into workout footage. Yeah, I didn't have my car clip with me. I'll talk about it more in my outro, but my bad on that. Now, guys, I'm mixing things up a little bit here. We have officially switched to a horizontal pull day, which our first session of that will be on Monday. It's a lot of exercises we've done before, just different combination. And then a vertical pull day, which is today. So yes, I already did do more of a lat bias back day earlier in the week, but we're blasting them again just so we can get on track and start that horizontal pull day on Monday, which we'll talk more about then. But for now, to get the lats nice and firing, what we're doing here is an assisted neutral grip pull-up. Okay, we're keeping our arms in more of a neutral position here using those neutral grip handles, which should be roughly about shoulder width. We are making sure that we're stretching all the way down. So in this portion right here, you can see my arms go basically completely straight, and then I'm driving up through and getting a nice squeeze at the top. You don't have to hold it at the top for too long. I definitely wouldn't pull up and then sit up there for like 5 seconds. There's just gonna be a lot of accumulated fatigue where you could instead add another couple repetitions, and you're really not gonna get anything extra out of just sitting there holding it at the top. If anything, you wanna make sure on the way down that's the portion you're controlling the most here. Now we're trying to keep the reps in that 10 to 15 rep range or so for these exercises at least. I think we actually hit 16 here, so that was solid. So really, actually, we'd probably try to keep this in that 12 to 20 rep range to get it started. But we did a top set here. This is 40 pounds of assistance. Then we did another set there, 40 pounds of assistance as well. So 2 working sets there. Then some lat pull downs, and you'll see here this should actually look slightly different. What we've done is I have actually moved my body closer to the actual pad in which my knees are tucked up under. I've moved my hands slightly closer, so they are now fully on top of the bar rather than kind of on the actual like crooked portion of the bar, that little crooked portion. So it's fully on top. And what we're doing is you'll see that when I come up, my back actually goes completely parallel, like 90 degrees. And I'm opening the crap out of that and stretching the lats. Dude, these are the best lat pull downs I've ever done in my entire life. We didn't have to drop the weight that much, only about 20 pounds off of my last pull down session, which was actually Monday. We only had to drop the weight 20 pounds, and we actually added 3 reps from that set. Anyways, and it was my second exercise. So it felt awesome. Now, what we did here is we did 2 top sets at this weight, bringing the bar all the way down to the chest. I will say on my second working set, I think I did a top set of 15 here, which were all essentially touching the chest, or a couple centimeters off of the chest, if not completely touching. But again, the goal is to completely touch. But we did 1 top set here. I believe this was 15 reps. And then we did a back off set with this, or I should say another working set at this weight. And we did a couple reps to the chin when we were burnt out of touching the chest. So I think on the second set, not on that top set, we did, I think, an additional like 3 reps to the chin. So like 10 to the chest and then 3 reps to the chin. Anyways, so what we have here is kind of a not really newer one, but a variation off of some one-arm pull-downs that I've done before, just a little bit of a different angle here. So again, what you're seeing here is I'm using a incline bench, flipping it, and sitting on it, essentially, just kind of straddling it here. And it's very simple. You are taking the handle, and you are allowing it to stretch all the way up, and then you are pulling it all the way down and squeezing in the lat. It's not super, super hard. As long as you're somebody who can form a solid mind-muscle connection, you should be good to go. Also on those lat pull-downs, by the way, we did do 2 sets at that top weight and then a back off set as well, which was like 22 reps for that back off set. It was crazy burn. Anyways, any of these one-arm movements, I do like to keep a little bit in the higher rep ranges. Again, I would keep this in that 10, well, actually probably a little higher, maybe 12 or even 15 to 20 plus reps. I mean, if you're getting like 50 reps, it's fine, but I would say you're probably not using quite enough load here. So we did 2 working sets, of course, per hand, both left and right hand, on this particular exercise, and it felt awesome. Phenomenal connection to the lats here. And then to end the actual back portion of this pull workout, this is a new one. So we have a slightly supinated grip here, not completely to where you can, like my palm would be facing towards the ceiling. It is kind of in a more neutral position. But what we're doing here is this is a great lower lat builder. So what you'll see is that my hand is essentially level with the lower portion of my lats. It's a simple concept. You need some sort of chest support would be ideal. You don't have to, but it is definitely ideal to do that. And And essentially what I'm trying to do is drive that elbow back through the lower portion of the lat. That's an area in which I really want to work on. And so I did. So I started, training it directly. Now, please, I want to keep this in mind. And this is a really important part of this voiceover. And I'm hoping you've listened to it up until this point. For our gym newbies, and even I would argue intermediate lifters here, look, if you are in your first couple months or even first year or two of lifting, these exercises, these one-arm cable rows and all this stuff, they are great, okay? But I'm never going to sit here and lie to you and say that I didn't build the base of my back off of heavy barbell rows, pullover type movements, not even really so much pullover type movements, a lot of rowing and a lot of heavy pull downs, okay? So make sure you're doing those bigger movements first, because you'll even see in my Monday session, essentially that whole session is different variations of heavier rows, okay? So make sure you're doing that big meat and potato stuff first. And if you want to either maybe start, your workout with some sort of one-arm cable row to get stuff warmed up, or maybe you want to end it with some sort of accessory thing or some sort of, I should say, isolating movement like this, that's fine. But make sure the bulk of your back training is made up of bigger movements that are going to add a lot of size to your back, okay? Anyways, rear delt flies, 3 working sets here, added 5 pounds and stayed in the same rep ranges in which I've liked. I've really been focusing on trying to keep those elbows rolled slightly over instead of letting them kind of like flop down, because your body naturally wants to allow the elbows to kind of push downwards. So make sure you're fighting that a little bit and putting tension there. And really controlling that. You'll see here I have my hands lined up to about the top of that chest support. So about to the chin, and we are essentially just opening and closing here. Opening and closing, allowing those fibers to stretch exactly how we want them to stretch and put a ton of tension on the rear delt. So we did 3 working sets here, all within, again, at least that 12 to 20 rep range. This top set, I believe, was like 22 reps. So we'll continue to add a little bit more weight as time goes on with this, and go from there. Exactly, like I said, in the rep ranges in which I'd like. So you could say like 12 to 25 reps or so for this exercise. Put a ton of tension on the rear delts. Okay, this is by far my favorite rear delt exercise for sure. A lot of great dumbbell work and barbell, rear delt exercises out there as well. But I'd say the rear delt fly machine is the king of rear delt exercises, just in my opinion. Then we had some machine preacher curls. Okay, so we did 3 working sets here. Again, you're going to see here, I'm bringing the weight all the way up and flexing those biceps hard at the top. And then we're stretching the arms all the way out. So right here, the arms are fully lengthened. I sit in that lengthened position, at least just for like a 1 count, like 1, and then up. Okay, and 1, and then up. Okay, sometimes even a little bit of a longer count. Essentially, all you're trying to do here is lengthen the bicep and then shorten it. Try to pump as much blood into it as possible. Okay, so again, we did 3 working sets here, added 5 pounds from last week. Felt pretty good. I'll be honest with you, actually, next week I'm going to do some like one-arm dumbbell preacher curls, just to kind of mix in a little bit variation. But, at least once per week, I like to have one exercise where the arm is up over a pad and you're just stretching that bicep out. That is phenomenal for bicep growth. You can even do it more than once per week for sure. But yeah, preacher curls are just an absolutely phenomenal bicep builder for sure. So we're pushing it, get that last little squeeze, control that weight, and we're good. Then we ended with 2 working sets of easy bar curls here. Now we have 25-pound plates on there. And what you'll see is I am trying not to utilize anything but the biceps. Okay, so I have those elbows really, I don't want to say tucked on the side of my body, but I keep those elbows relatively tight to the side of my body. They will naturally sway a little bit in front as I curl the weight up, but nothing super crazy. Okay, get a great pump, get a great squeeze, push yourself for sure. These are a humbling exercise when done correctly, when you're not swinging the weight and when you're not, trying to use other muscle groups, but when you're really isolating and curling up with those biceps. This is a tough freaking exercise. I haven't done this one in a while, but again, we did 2 working sets here. This was our top set, I believe, for 13 reps, and then we did a follow-up set for 11 reps. So again, trying to keep bicep and tricep training somewhere in that 10 to 12 working sets per week, and so this put us at 11 working sets of biceps, and we did 11 working sets of triceps, and that number 10 or 11 seems to kind of be the sweet spot, I would say, for me right now as far as working sets per week goes for those body parts. So or at least 10 to 12, or yeah, like 10 to 12. So anyways, again, great squeeze, great pump, control the weight on the way down. Yeah. All right, no car intro or logically car outro. My bad on that. I was in my wife's car this morning, so I forgot the little car clip, and I need a haircut. Ooh. Anyways, phenomenal pull workout. A very, very much so lat bias pull workout. Okay, I know I talked about it in my voiceover about how I kind of shifted things around a little bit, and man, I'm so glad I did. I dropped the ego even more, really connected with the lats, as you can see my cat eating back there. Yeah, it's phenomenal workout, man. It was awesome. So great stuff. Anyhoozle, join me tomorrow for another Natty leg day. We have our hamstring and glute biased leg day tomorrow. I still do have a little bit of body weight calf work here to do today, and also a half-hour cardio. Obviously, that will not be filmed, but I do it. I promise. Promise you, I wouldn't lie to you. So yeah, join tomorrow for that. Make sure you like and share the video. Drop a comment below if you got any feedback or anything you want to say. I will absolutely respond to it. I can promise you that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I appreciate y'all who have, and I appreciate y'all who haven't either. But if that is something that you want to do, hey man, go for it. If not though, that's all right. Anyways, for today, I am the Natty teacher, and this episode of summer school, this lesson is finito. I will catch y'all tomorrow.